Yo, 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 Blueprint Retro, and uh, just going over this build. Got raw footage here of building a Game Boy Color with a stream rate shell that is chameleon paint, blue and purple, and yeah. So kind of getting into it, just going through the box right now, getting the shell out, taking a look at it, looking at the color, and just kind of holding up the Game Boy I got from Japan. It's one of two Game Boys I got from Japan, Game Boy Colors. The screen on that was really dull, so it made it really good to mod. And I'm just looking at the shell and everything. So yeah, while we're kind of just looking at the shell there, if you could hit the like button, subscribe button while you're at it. I'm gonna start uploading some more of these mods and how they're done. Maybe even do some vids on certain things if you want to know, like how to put in an IPS screen or RGB lighting on it. I'd be more than happy to make a video on that if you have any particular questions. But yeah, right now just looking at the shell, this is the first time I use a shell like that. So I was just looking at it, seeing if there's anything different. That is a battery that I'm going to put in so that it will charge. I'll be able to charge using the original charging port on the motherboard of the Game Boy. So it won't be USB-C, but it'll use the original charging port, and there is a USB charging cable that comes with it, so I'll be able to just use that. And I'll have to solder on that little chip and connect the battery, and I'll have to do a little modding, a little filing out of the inside of the battery bay to get that to fit in there flush. The box came with some extra stuff, so I was just going through what's in the box. I ended up using the materials that came with it, the buttons, the pads, everything that came with it. I was looking at the buttons to see if I had some other buttons that would be better, but it just turns out that those buttons were better. Eventually, I do want to start streaming some of these, and even if possible, start giving away a Game Boy or two every month or so. But I'm probably a ways way out from that. But the Game Boys that you see here, whether it's on the YouTube Shorts, on Instagram, which is OG Blueprint, and also any Game Boy you see on my socials or in these videos, they're going to be up for sale. I do have also a black one, which I don't know if I put on my Instagram as of yet, but it should be up there by the time this video comes out. But there's a black one with red RGBs, and I have a white Game Boy Advance with RGB in it. All the Game Boys are for sale. You can DM me for prices. Just still going through the materials, stickers, the lens that goes on the front. It comes with a lens. It says Game Boy Color. Looks like the original lens, so it's pretty good. Okay, now I'm getting the box out of the way, getting set up. Got the screws up there. It came with everything you need. First thing I wanted to do was get the motherboard out, which I did. Got the screws out. Pretty simple. And as you can see there, I took the chip and soldered it on to the motherboard. Now there was 3 solders for the contacts to the motherboard, and then there is 4 other solders I have to do. There is I believe, a conductor that you have to remove in those 2 spots right there that I'm showing. I'll show you the actual piece I took off. So I had to add solder to those 2 spots there, and there's 2 more spots on the board, plus there's 3 that I had to connect to the motherboard. So this mod here, if you're not comfortable soldering, um, it's not difficult. Soldering is it looks a lot more scary than it actually is. Um, I'm fairly new to it myself, but it's definitely a lot easier than it looks. You just got to get started. So I just connected those wires there. And make sure I look at my charts, make sure I have the wires connected correctly. That metal piece did not come together. A lot of the cases it does come together, but this one did not. I had to screw that in, and it was a little unaligned. Those two prongs at the top, there's holes for when you screw it all together. A little unaligned, but I was able to get it into place. Now we're putting the actual screen in. We have those 3 red wires, which I'm going to have to solder onto 3 different points in the motherboard. Underneath the select and above the A and B button. This can be a little bit of a pain as well, but it's not that hard. We put the screen in, and we're making sure that we're taping down those leads. We got the screen in. The screen, I did have to cut the pad because it kind of intruded on the directional pad, the D-pad. So I had to kind of cut it so it wasn't sticking up, taking up too much space, and I'd be able to get good contact with the D-pad. Now I had to make sure that this fit in there. This was some cutting out the bay. I just used that right there, which I think I need to get some better ones, but I ended up cutting it out and using a Dremel to sand it down, putting that in there. I did skip a lot of things because honestly, it is quite boring, but kind of showing everything. But now it works. Doesn't need to put any batteries. It is rechargeable. It comes on, and the paint is actually pretty sick. I like the Chameleon paint on it. And yeah, got the Game Boy. Here's just me turning on Pokemon Red in there just to make sure I'm not running into any glitches or anything. Make sure I didn't anything by mistake. It's pretty hard. Like these motherboards are not really fragile, but I wouldn't say be too rough with them. But I tried to make sure I had to go into the game, make sure the buttons, because like I said, I had to cut the D-pad, the padding for the D-pad, the directional pad. The buttons all felt good. That came with the shell, so I was happy about that, and that was it. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll try to get more videos out. And if this pops off, I'll start streaming the mods as well. You can go to the links in the description to my Instagram and X or Twitter. If you're interested, DM me on Instagram preferably, and we can go over pricing, or if you have any ideas or you want any mods, or if you're looking to get your old Game Boy cleaned up or fixed up and or modded, I can do that too. Just let me know and we'll get some pricing. But yeah, this is Blueprint Retro, and peace.